Welcome back to Sports Chat with Nat. I'm Nat. That's Master T.
Hey y'all.
And we are here with the 2024 NFL rule changes. Now, listen, last year we had a litany of them, it was a book full. But this year we only have a couple. Took us a minute to wrap our heads around one of them. However, we think we got it. So we're going to try to help you understand. Master T, you want to tell them about this new kickoff rule?
Oh yes. So I have been, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have been really confused with the new kickoff rule and stuff. So basically, the new one, I'm going to read it exactly from the NFL rules that they have on a Trill thing, the website. You can go on to operations.nfl.com to look at it. They also have a really good video to help too. But the new kickoff rule adjustment was to create a new form of a free kick play that is designated to one, resemble a typical scrimmage play by aligning players on both teams closer and restricting movement to reduce speed and space. And then also it's supposed to promote more returns. Now, when you first hear this, like all of us, we are looking like, what are you talking about? So I clicked on the next video right next to it. If you click on it, it will have a little video that kind of breaks it all down. So, and it also goes into depth of why. So first what happened was they said the reason why they did this is because they said last year was the lowest kickoff return rate in NFL history, and it was a lot of injury, like unacceptable injury rates prior to kickoff, and they like with the new rule. I don't remember having a lot of injuries. Do you, Miss Natalie, ever remember seeing people really get hurt during kickoffs?
Apparently, it must be something that they discover after the game because I don't really, I'm like you, I don't recall seeing it in the game in real time whereby the kickoff was a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Very rare that I've ever heard of the person catching the receiving team, like player actually got hurt or anything like that. So not really sure on that part, but that was one of the reasons why with it. So the first thing was when I looked at the video and stuff, it shows that the kicking team will start off from the 35-yard line. So there's going to be about 10 players that start on the 35-yard line. And then there's going to be the receiving team members. There's going to be 10 on between 9 and 10 players. 9 and 10 players that line up between the 30-yard and 35-yard line. So basically, there's going to be about 5 to 10 yards between both teams, right? Okay, so we got that part. Next, the part of kickoff is pretty much the same, where the kicker kicks and then they have that landing zone where they have, which is pretty much between the 20-yard and the end zone, and then the end zone part where they're going to kick, and that's where they are. After that part, when they kick it, this is where different things start changing. Before, when the ball was kicked, the teams will run, that's when you would start seeing everybody run. This time, neither team can move until the receiver has caught the ball. So they're going to sit and watch until that player has caught the ball or dropped it, because some people do that too. I have to specify because, not just catching. We also, if they somehow touch it, that's when the other team start running at each other. Almost like a flag football scrimmage thing that they just going at it right then and there. So the kick, they said anything that gets kicked in that landing zone, which is the 20-yard line to the end zone, it's about 20 yards, they have to return that kick no matter what. There's no more. That's also what it comes to this. There's no more fair catches in this new kickoff rule. So remember before we used to say people would just do their little arm up to say like that? No, there's no more of that, because now there's enough time for the player to catch the ball and not get hit. So that was also, I think that was what was going on too. That possibly was what was probably why they're stopping that. So then you're probably like, okay, so then what happens if it lands in that area? So it says any kick that bounces from the landing zone and it ends in the end zone, it must be returned. So they can still return it back like how it is, or they down it and it goes to the 20-yard line. So they'll start at the 20. If the ball goes out of bounds, hold up. Oh, sorry. If the ball fails to get to the 20-yard line when they kick it, somehow they punt, when they kick off return doesn't work, it ends up going to the 40-yard line. So now we're starting closer already into the other opposite opponent's territory. And then if the ball enters the end zone in the air, the receiving team can return it or down it. And if they do down it in the end zone, it goes to the 30-yard line. So pretty much a lot of this is going to what I've been looking at and when I watched it in real time. Oh, also, I forgot one more. If it goes out of bounds, it starts at the 40-yard line too. So this is going to be pretty interesting. I've been kind of watching it. I kind of watched it like when I went through this whole thing for it, I was like, all right, now I'm starting to get it.
Yeah.
And then I watched it, and then I just finished watching the Titans Saints pregame. So preseason, their last preseason game because I was on. So I was like, okay, let me watch and see if I really understand these rules. And it actually made more sense after rereading it and watching it. So it does go like how it is. Now, the only thing is no onside kicks can happen until fourth quarter. Like, you know how before, like Super Bowl, whatever one the Saints won. But when they started, they started they came out of halftime and then came back and did an onside kick. That is not existing anymore. So they can only do it fourth down.
And you have to let them know ahead of time that you're going to do an onside kick.
Yeah. So no like little trick plays anymore. So that part is going to be a little interesting, I think, because I think onside kicks made it very. I think they made the game more interesting because especially if you knew what was going on. So that's what we have for one of the new rules.